Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Beginning in northeast Nebraska, where the Stanton County Sheriff's Office responded to a crash near Stanton Tuesday. It was a head-on collision involving a westbound SUV just west of town that authorities say crossed the center line and struck an eastbound sedan.
We had a westbound SUV on Highway 24 about 2 miles west of Stanton, crossed the center line and struck an eastbound sedan. Both drivers were taken to Faith Regional Hospital by Norfolk Fire and Rescue. The driver of the SUV was extricated. We're describing their injuries at this time as non-life-threatening. Very fortunate seatbelts were in use, and both vehicles are a total loss. And we're still trying to clear up the scene, and Highway 24 remains partially closed.
It reopened in the afternoon. The Norfolk Fire Division responded with rescue units on site, assisting with cleanup and transportation for the drivers. Nebraska's Attorney General taking aim at trucking companies he says are colluding against Nebraska and other states. Attorney General Mike Hilgers announced the lawsuit on Tuesday. It names 4 different trucking companies and the Truck and Engine Manufacturers Association as defendants. Hilgers says an agreement signed by the companies and the state of California, known as the Clean Truck Partnership, states that the manufacturers would not oppose state-level mandates that restrict the output of diesel-powered semis. In his eyes, that's collusion.
We have a very robust, well-defined system of logistics in the country, and it's an industry that matters a great deal to Nebraskans. It's one that's based on the internal combustion engine. Very, very important. It's under assault right now with an effort, a multi-pronged effort from California, the Biden administration, EPA, and now these companies to transform this internal combustion engine-based logistics industry to one that's based on electric power in a blink of an eye.
Hilgers' lawsuit against Daimler, International Motors, Paccar, and Volvo was filed in Lincoln County District Court. He's also one of 17 attorneys general trying to get California's diesel engine restrictions tossed out. Execs from Visa and MasterCard grilled on Capitol Hill over their fee structure. A Senate Judiciary hearing Tuesday discussed what lawmakers call a duopoly between Visa and MasterCard. It's one of the rare instances where lawmakers on both sides of the aisle found agreement, saying that high swipe fees are plaguing both retailers and small businesses.
This is just classic collusive monopoly behavior. And your testimony is you can't accept any more competition. I agree with one thing that my colleagues down the dais have said, which is that this is not a sustainable situation. It is not sustainable. This has to change. 1.17 trillion in debt, this has to change. And I'll just end with this, Mr. Chairman. I thought one of the best proposals that the President-elect Trump, made during his last campaign, his most recent campaign, was to cap the interest rates of credit cards. So we could do that.
Senators Dick Durbin and Roger Marshall have co-sponsored the Bipartisan Credit Card Competition Act, which takes aim at swipe fees by giving retailers more choice in payment networks they can use. In a letter ahead of Tuesday's hearing, the National Retail Federation told the committee that high credit card swipe fees are adding inflationary pressure to the U.S. economy. Commissioners in Otoe County have approved a 40-acre disposal area for an OPPD coal plant in Nebraska City, but a landowner in the area says she still has concerns over health impacts. Dan Swanson has more.
Otoe County Commissioners gave their approval Tuesday for an expansion of Omaha Public Power District's ash disposal to include former agricultural land in the Bluffs. The move allows the coal-burning power plant to move its ash disposal outside of the Missouri River floodplain, but farmer Carol Crook said the change raised red flags for her, that Nebraska City could soon become a destination for waste from a wider region.
The rumor mill started that they were going to be digging a pit to put their waste materials from the coal burning plant. But I don't want Otoe County to become a waste dump for Lancaster and Douglas County. And I could see this opening a door.
Otoe County Commissioners tabled the permit at a previous meeting to get assurances.
There's absolutely no waste from any other county will be brought into this county. I brought that up with them. I said, if you have another plant that needs ash disposal, buy property in that county and have it disposed in that county.
Commissioner Rick Freshman said the pit is exclusively for ash from the Nebraska City Power Station.
But that the CCR designated placement in the new disposal area will originate exclusively from the Nebraska City Power Station. I think that was the intent from originally, but this way it's in writing.
Well, they were a little hesitant at the last meeting.
We got it in there.
Yeah.
Kirk said she is not sure if the assurance is for the currently proposed pit, which covers only 40 of OPPD's newly acquired 600 acres, or if it covers the entire county.
I'm somewhat disappointed because the ash has items in it that will not decompose, and they'll be piling them up there. We don't know the effects on our health, the ground around it, the water. Any testing of air and water is strictly done by OPPD.
From Nebraska City, I'm Dan Swanson, News Channel Nebraska.
President Joe Biden is working to make good on his promise to storm victims in the southeastern U.S. Over the final 2 months of his presidency, he's unveiled a multi-billion-dollar aid package that he's hoping Congress will pass before he leaves the Oval Office. Leadership on the Hill have signaled that providing disaster aid is a priority, but will political headwinds slow them down? Laura Aguirre has more.
We're going to do everything we can to help you pick back up the pieces and get back to where you were.
President Joe Biden last month sending reassurance to thousands of storm victims across the hurricane-ravaged Southeast. Now he's asking Congress for roughly $100 billion to back that up, and $40 billion of that would go to FEMA, double the amount Congress budgeted for the agency this year, according to a Congressional Research Service report. This year's active and powerful Atlantic hurricane season, including storms Helene and Milton, along with the deadly wildfires out west, drained the agency's budget. Its administrator on Capitol Hill today, testifying before a House subcommittee on the agency's disaster response.
Our workforce persevered through all of the challenges, and they also persevered through a difficult security environment generated by misinformation about FEMA's work spread through social media.
Two House members who could ultimately vote on the president's request offered differing views on FEMA's performance.
I'm grateful for the federal resources and personnel that were surged into the region, including Administrator Criswell being there a couple of times.
The people of Western North Carolina are tired. The grief that they're experiencing is compounded by bureaucratic missteps, delays, and poor communication.
When and how congressional leaders move on the nearly $100 billion is uncertain. They could address it as a standalone bill or tuck it into the end-of-year spending package. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
A critical deadline with some steep penalties is coming up quickly for farmers and ranchers across the state. The Nebraska Farm Bureau reminding small businesses about the Corporate Transparency Act of 2021. It says any place that operates as a C corporation, an S corporation, or an LLC has to register if they employ fewer than 20 people or get under $5 million in cash receipts. By not filing or updating those records as necessary, farmers and ranchers could be fined up to $10,000, face additional financial penalties, even jail time. The filing deadline for beneficial ownership information with the U.S. Department of Treasury is January 1st. Community leaders in communities all over Nebraska trying to find solutions to housing shortages in their towns, and a Nebraska congressman is giving them a look at one possible solution. Representative Mike Flood hosted a delegation led by the Norfolk Chamber of Commerce to Maryland, where they toured the Kilpatrick Woods community. The development features over 200 houses, all of which are manufactured homes. Congressman Flood said the manufactured homes are more affordable than alternatives in the area. He says the homes in that manufactured development have been selling for almost 40% lower than the average cost of a home in Maryland right now. The Department of Housing and Urban Development this week proposed simpler loan applications for manufactured homes. This is the U.S. Census Bureau said this month. More than 77,000 new manufactured homes were shipped this year through September, a 16% jump from the same period last year. Businesses in Norfolk coming together to give back and keep their community extra cozy with an event called Warm Souls. Viera Wireless is teaming up with the Norfolk Rescue Mission to donate shoes to those in need.
We're encouraging all of our customers to bring in new socks or new shoes as well, just to help out everybody to make sure they're all staying warm for the winter.
We like to get involved with the community, and people really seem to like it. When they found out about it coming into the store, a lot of them have come back with things. We've had people that have brought just a couple things. We've had people bring in several items to donate.
If you or someone you know is interested in donating or getting socks and shoes, the drive runs through the end of the month. There are 3 locations at Norfolk Viera Wireless or the Norfolk Rescue Mission where more info can be found. And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com, click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. This is News Channel Nebraska.